What's up, guys? Day 3 of iCast. It's kicked off. We're ready to walk around. Yesterday we walked around about 9 miles up and down these aisles, and pretty much we're ready to do it again. I might take a nap.
Let's find a place on the floor.
I'm just gonna lay down and just whatever happens, happens. But one thing we've been noticing about this show is just the international flavor. Right, Pops?
That's right. We've got companies from Scandinavia, South Korea, China, Japan. They're all looking for distribution deals to bring their products here.
So it's not that they're doing anything, you know, that any magical things are happening over in those parts of the world, but they're bringing a slightly different perspective and a slightly different angle on this thing. For one thing, the European companies are the ones that have thought of this concept of the duck, right? So it started with Savage Gear and the lure designer Mads, Rossell, and we've seen some others from other Scandinavian and Western European companies having this.
Yeah, we have it. I think the reason being because a lot of those guys are hunting pike and muskie. Well, a little duckling is just a snack for one of those toothy critters. We all know bass will eat them too, so they're coming out with several sizes.
So we're going to get back out on the floor, get ready to run around, and hopefully have a lot more to show you at the end of this video. It's going to be a good time. A lot of people starting to get tired, a lot of tired feet, but we're going to soldier on. Hi guys, I'm here with Scott from Copic Marker. We've come up with a really cool system for painting your own baits, really inspired by fly fishing is what I heard you talking about, Scott.
Correct.
I'm a fly fisherman at heart as well, so I'd love to hear about it and see what it does.
All right, we have these alcohol-based markers that are non-toxic. It's a refillable marker that you can put into the spray system. And it makes painting your own custom baits a breeze. There's no mess to this product. No fumes or overspray. You pretty much spray anywhere you want to spray. You don't have any clogged tips to deal with or broken needles. You can literally do your own custom crankbait in under 2 minutes time.
That's beautiful.
And it's as simple as that, and your cleanup is done.
Scott, where can people get these, and is it available now?
They're available at most art supply stores,
Great.
as well as directly from the company Copic Markers.
Right. So guys, you absolutely have to check this out. If you're like me and you need something that's just a little bit different than what's available on the market, you're no longer restricted. This is a must-have. And if you're transitioning from fly fishing over to bass fishing, this is going to feel like home. So thanks for checking it out.
Hey y'all, it's Pops with Men vs. Fish. We're here with Alex Davis in the Jackall booth, and he's going to run us through the new offerings from Jackall.
We have a lot of different offerings. I think my favorite is going to be the new Kiera frog. I live at Gunnersville, love to throw a frog. what's neat about this is it's a ½ ounce, but it's so compact. It's hard to really tell how big this frog is, but it's a small frog. I love it because of pressured fish. A lot of times you'll get more pressure in an area. They want a smaller offering. The great features about it, it has a concave mouth on it, so when you're walking it, it's gonna have that walk the dog, you know, back and forth. It's gonna spit a little bit of water because of the face features on it, so it's not really gonna plop water, it just spits a little bit more water. The neatest thing about it, every person who's thrown a frog in open water, you're constantly squeezing the frog. I mean, that's just something everyone has to do. What Jackall has done is they've put virtually a little porthole on it. And what this does, every time you cast it, the excess water in the frog is gonna come out on every cast. So every time you cast the frog, the water's gonna come out, so it's gonna eliminate the need to do that. It's gonna come in 6 colors. I've actually got to fish it since last year, and I did win a BFL on it, so I can say that it is great. Nobody knew that at the time because I couldn't say anything about it, but it's something that's definitely gonna work really good, any kind of vegetation or walking the dog, you know, needed around the stump or logs or brush under docks. We also have same Pompadour and Pompadour Junior. Well, what we've done is come out with 2 new colors in it. So it's not a new bait, it's just new colors. It's just adding, we had 6 colors, so now we're gonna have 8 colors in it. In the TN line, the TN 60 and 70, we've added 4 new colors in it. Personally, my favorite is the RT Escape Craw. I just love red. I mean, I'm a lipless guy in vegetation early in the spring, late winter, so that's just my favorite color that I like. The one thing they did do in the Disc Knocker TNs, they're only gonna offer the craw and the bluegill colors. So in the Disc Knocker, we're gonna have those 2 colors. In the regular TN, they're gonna have all 4 colors. For another bait, we're gonna have the Jackall Re-Range. This is a 130 size. This is a 110 size. So I know at home sometimes the big largemouths, they want the bigger forage. It's gonna come in 8 different colors, and each model has 8 different colors. The most popular, I mean, it's gonna be, my most popular size is gonna be the 110 size. Spotted bass at home, smallmouth up north, largemouths in the Ozarks, around Grass Lakes. I mean, this is by far the most popular size. What's neat about this bait, it has flat sides. On each side's flat. What that does is when you're twitching the bait, twitching the jerk bait, it's gonna have a great side-to-side walk the dog motion under the water. A lot of jerk baits will go, 5 inches one way, 4 inches the other. Yesterday in the tank, I could actually see it in the water, and sometimes it was going 9 inches one way, 8 inches the other way. So it really had a wide movement, which I like a lot. The coolest thing about it, to trigger the bites, this bait, every time you stop, is gonna go nose down. So every time you stop twitching it, the bait goes nose down. To me, that's what triggers bigger bites and more bites. A neat feature about this jerk bait is what they call a TG zero friction weight transfer system. You can kind of see it in the bait if you got real close. There's a cylinder in there. That cylinder has lubricant on it, so every time you go to cast it, that weight is gonna go from front to back. So layman's terms, what that means, wind, you can cast this thing like there's no wind. It's gonna make longer casts. If there isn't any wind, you're gonna have longer casts. So every time you cast the bait, that transfer system's gonna send it to the back. It's gonna shoot it like a rock. So there's no more, your jerk bait going out there and going sideways and kind of hanging up in the wind, you backlash. It's always gonna go like a rock every cast, because that weight weighs 20% of the overall weight of the bait. So it's just gonna make it where it's always gonna cast like a rock. So that's a great feature about it. It's the small things that I like that Jackall does. It's the little things that actually matter huge when I'm actually fishing. So any little thing like this, better cast, or what water's gonna come out of the bait, it's just more time I can spend with my bait in the water versus picking out a backlash, squeezing a frog. One thing that I'm not gonna say I love to fish, it's a way I have to fish, but it works everywhere I've done it. I'm a power fisherman, so of course the first thing I want to do is, throw the baits that I've mentioned. But this is called the Nico flick. Jackall's always had the flick shake. It's always been a great bait. The Nico rig is kind of taken over on the tournament scene. Every time we do these clear water situations, highly pressured fish, this Nico rig is kind of shined. A lot of pros are doing it. It's something not a lot of people want to talk about because it was one of the only secrets people had left, but now it's been exposed. So what Jackall has done is they've made a worm just for it. They've made it a denser plastic, so it's going to be, has a little more weight. You can throw it further because it's a light line technique. 4 pound, 6 pound, 7 pound test. They made the actual head of the bait thicker. What that does is you can put a nail weight in it, because with a Nico rig you're gonna have to have a nail weight. So with it being a thicker head, any nail weight's gonna fit in. It's not gonna come out as just a better section for the weight. You're gonna hook it through the egg sac and you are ready to go. You kind of take the whole, you're just using a worm that you think's good enough. Jackall has made a worm just for the Nico rig, and it catches them absolutely everywhere. I got to play around with it on Gunnersville a little bit. I mean, that's not the greatest situations. I was fishing shallow grass when fish was bedding, and the first one I caught was a 5 pounder, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to keep doing this everywhere we go. So, great worm, great baits, great new colors. I don't know what else you could ask for Jackall at this point.
There you go. We're in the Shimano booth with Alex Davis. He's going to run us through the Corrado K, which won Best New Freshwater Reel. He's also going to show us the new Corrado rod. So hang on.
This reel is always, it's the Corrado. It's been the staple of Shimano. It's what I fished with when I was, growing up. What they've done is they've made the reel 10% smaller. They've changed the shape a little bit. It's very comfortable in your hand. But what they didn't do is they didn't change the spool size. So it's still a 200 spool size. Anytime you're gonna try to throw, braid on a frog or a big bait, a big swim bait, I'm gonna turn to this reel versus a 150 size just because of the line capacity. They added so many great features. The micro module gearing, which just means it's gonna be so much smoother. I mean, you reel this thing, it's like reeling nothing. They did the SVS braking system, so the same brakes that are on Metanium and Chronarch are now on Corrado. With that, you have the outside dial, so if a little bit of wind comes up, you can actually adjust the external dial, which is just gonna make it fine-tune the reel. They've put bigger handles on it. They've pretty much made a great reel. They've made it even better. One thing they've also done on not only the reel side, but the rod side. They've come out with the new Corrado rod. One thing I love about it, high quality cork, Fuji soft touch reel seat, super comfortable in your hand, has a hook keeper on it, alkanite rings on the rod. The greatest thing about it, they have 21 different models in between casting and spinning. If you're a tournament guy or a weekend guy, if you want to do a certain technique, there is a rod for it. If you want to flip, you want to throw a frog, you want to throw a big crankbait, throw a Senko, throw a jig, throw a drop shot, anything you can think of, there's 21 models so you can do that. You can have the best rod to do your job. Definitely need to check out the new Corrado rod, Corrado K reel. Greatest thing that I've seen in a long time.